Welcome to the Business Finance Bulletin, episode 122. Again to the latest Business Finance Bulletin with me, Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services, the commercial finance experts. In this bulletin, a look at the review paper from the Competition and Markets Authority on the small business banking world, what's going on in the asset finance and leasing world, and also dynamic pricing, how you can use it to boost your bottom line. In previous bulletins, I've mentioned that the government, via the Competition and Markets Authority, has been carrying out a review of the banking sector. Well, the first full report is now out with a list of proposals that they're expecting banks to comment upon, ready for the final report, which will be due out in August 2016. Now, the review process has been looking at services provided both to personal customers and also small businesses. But hey, as this is a business bulletin, I'm only going to be looking at proposals for small businesses only. So let's see what the CMA want banks to be doing. First of all, loan eligibility. They want businesses to have the ability to go in and just check whether they are eligible for a loan before they go through the whole process and then find they get a no just because of one simple thing. So they'll be able to test the water. Linked into this also is they want banks to link up with credit reference agencies. So when banks do searches against your credit file for both you personally and your business, you don't leave a footprint. So at the moment, if a bank does a search, it leaves a trail behind them. And that means that other lenders can see that you've gone and spoken to somebody else. So the CMA want the ability for soft searches where no footprint has been left. Also, price comparison. I've mentioned in a previous bulletin that the CMA has kind of indicated that they would like to see a price comparison website for small business current accounts and loans. Now, this whole idea of on loan pricing is a bit difficult, and they've recognised this, that for larger loans, pricing is done on a case-by-case basis. But the CMA have said for loans and finance agreements below £25,000, there now should be an APR, an annual percentage rate, so businesses can compare like for like. Now, this links in with a campaign being carried out by the alternative finance provider Growth Street, and I mentioned this in my bulletin number 108. And they've really been pushing for APRs, and the campaign they've named it as APR for SMEs. So they've really been pushing for APRs. So well done for the team there, and let's hope that that really comes through, because it will be a great service for small businesses to be able to compare pricing on a like-for-like basis. Back to the CMA report, another thing they want businesses to have the ability to do is to take their financial data on how they deal with banks and take it in a format that they can deliver to other banks when looking to switch bank accounts, to say, hey, this is what I'm doing with my bank at the moment, what can you do in terms of pricing and service? So they want the banks to come up with a program which business owners can access, download their data and take off with them. So a number of proposals there for banks to have a look at. As I mentioned, the report is going to be finalised in August 2016. So watch this bulletin and we'll then be able to provide you with a full idea of exactly what the final proposals are. As we know, late payment is a major bugbear for many businesses. Cash tied up in overdue invoices is cash that you can't get your hands on in order to fund your growth plans. Well, a recent survey caught my eye, carried out by a procurement software provider called Wax Digital, and they asked a number of procurement agents what strategies they use to avoid late payment, and one answer that came back was dynamic discounting. Now, what is dynamic discounting? Well, basically, if you're a supplier of product or services and cash flow is important to you, you can go to your clients and say, hey, if you pay faster or if you pay us up front, we will give you a discount on the sale price. That's where then you're giving up a little bit of a margin in order to get cash into your bank account quicker. Now, this survey carried out of 100 procurement agents found that 27% of them said they are using dynamic discounting as a strategy to avoid late payment. Also, 30% of them said that they are planning to implement this strategy over the next 12 months. Now let's look on the flip side. What if you're watching this and you're a purchaser of products and services and you really fancy getting a discount in order to boost your bottom line, but you don't have the cash available to pay quicker or upfront? Well, here's a quick tip about one provider that we've successfully partnered with called Pay4. Now, Pay4 will take a look at your business and allocate the equivalent of an overdraft limit or limit to your business. Let's say £100,000. So that facility is there for you to draw down on in order to pay your suppliers up front. So you draw the facility from Pay4, and Pay4 then give you 90 days in which to pay them back. So it's giving you cash up front to negotiate that discount and still gives you a period of up to 90 days in order to pay back and also turn your goods and services back into cash to pay Pay4. It's a great facility. So if you want to take more advantage of dynamic discounting as a recipient of it and you want to know more about what you can do, just drop us a line, info@businessloanservices.co.uk, or drop along the Pay4 website, which is pay4.co.uk. Moving on now to the asset finance industry and a look at volume statistics released by the Finance and Leasing Association. Now, they are the umbrella organisation for a number of asset finance providers, and they've released statistics for March 2016 which show that in that month increase in business was 10% compared to March 2015, so a 10% jump in business done. For the first quarter of 2016, the increase compared to quarter 1 2015 was 8%. So you can see quite a steady increased rate there of business being done. Now, when you compare this to the lending statistics from banks that I shared in the previous bulletin, episode 121, it's a very significant difference. In that bulletin, I mentioned that increase of bank lending was about 1%. So you see a massive gap. So well done to the asset providers. So where's the money going? Well, there's been a 29% increase in the amount of business done for purchasing of IT equipment and a 5% increase in terms of purchases of commercial vehicles. Interestingly, there's been a fall of 2% though in the amount of business done for plant and equipment purchases. So that's a little bit more evidence there. The manufacturing sector has been really cautious at the moment, considering economically where we are and the forthcoming EU referendum. So asset finance continues to be very popular. If you want to know if asset finance can be useful for your business, more than happy to have a chat. Just drop us an email, info@businessloanservices.co.uk. Well, that's it for this bulletin, and as ever, I hope you enjoyed the news and the tips I had to share. If you did, please feel free to give it a share and a like on social media. It all helps. Don't forget, we've got the podcast version available on iTunes, Stitcher, and also SoundCloud. Just go along to those sites and search for Business Finance Bulletin. And if you're on the podcast version, just pop along to our YouTube channel, search for Rob Warlow, and there you'll find this bulletin and all past episodes as well. Well, that's it for this bulletin. Thanks very much for being with me. Look forward to being with you again next time. Bye-bye now.